to make assumptions about my life. It's great.
Y'all, it finally happened. The rumors were true. Leaked audio has hit the internet. Yes, you heard that right. And it's painting a whole new picture of chaos behind Disney's already crumbling Snow White remake. And baby, this isn't just another PR hiccup. This is a full-on disaster. Why? Because this time, it's Rachel Zegler herself, caught allegedly screaming at staff on set, adding fuel to a fire that was already burning hotter than ever. From the jump, this remake was a hot mess waiting to happen. They poured over $200 million, 0 cents, into this thing, hoping to make magic. But from the moment the reboot was announced, the energy was off. People expected a beautiful tribute to the 1937 classic. Instead, they got a remake so far removed from the original, fans didn't even recognize it.
Just listen to what she said. She just and angry. Go for it.
What fans wanted was a nostalgic fairy tale. What they got was, well, a corporate Frankenstein monster. And it wasn't long before the behind-the-scenes drama started leaking into public view. First came the whispers, then the headlines, now this bombshell. According to the leaked audio, Rachel wasn't just frustrated, she was allegedly berating crew members like a full-blown diva meltdown. And y'all, even people from inside the house were turning on her. Disney CEO Bob Iger's own son reportedly posted online accusing Rachel of hijacking the film. He deleted it later, but the damage done. And let's not forget that infamous deleted tweet where Rachel claimed Snow White was the #1 movie in the world before it even released. People were side-eyeing so hard it almost broke the internet. Her bold statements about modernizing everything, from Snow White herself to the dwarfs, rubbed many the wrong way. Instead of celebrating the charm of the original story, it felt like the studio and its star were rewriting history, and not in a good way.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Well, who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Like, who are you?
From early promo materials alone, fans could tell something was seriously off. The sweetness, the innocence, gone, replaced by heavy-handed social messaging that came off more like a lecture than a fairy tale. People felt like they were being preached at, not enchanted.
Rachel Zegler. This woman is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
And then Rachel started doing press. Her comments about the original being bizarre and outdated had folks clutching their pearls, and not in a cute way. The way she came across, condescending, and it didn't sit right. Even Bill Maher jumped in, throwing comedic grenades left and right. He roasted the entire production, calling out the irony of demanding audiences embrace a Snow White with none of the charm that made the original so beloved.
I think it's fair to say that no one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
He compared it to a sermon nobody wanted to sit through. And honestly, he had a point. But Maher's roast was only the beginning, because once that audio started floating around online, all hell broke loose.
There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now.
Allegedly, the clip captured Rachel losing her temper on a hectic shooting day, snapping at crew members in a moment of rage. Some insiders claimed this wasn't an isolated incident, that the set had been tense for weeks. That this clip revealed just how deep the dysfunction ran.
About Rachel Zegler, she's the young woman that was cast as Snow White. It has proven to be Disney's worst investment ever in the history of Disney investments.
With no official word from Disney or Rachel, the internet did what it does best: speculate wildly. Was she mad about the script? About the direction? Was it all fake to smear her? Or was this just Rachel finally breaking under pressure?
Here's what I told Bob. I said, I'm curious, Bob, don't you think messages like this is why Disney keeps having box office flops?
Whatever the truth was, it didn't matter. The story had already caught fire. The media stopped talking about the film's creative missteps and started asking bigger questions. Did Rachel Zegler verbally the staff? Was the Snow White set a toxic work environment?
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Let's rewind. Remember the dwarf drama? First, they said they were getting rid of them. Then they weren't. Then they were being replaced by magical creatures. Then who knows? The flip-flopping added even more pressure, and actors with dwarfism publicly slammed Disney for erasing opportunities that could be theirs.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
With that kind of PR mess on their hands, it's no wonder the environment was reportedly tense. And Rachel, she wasn't helping. Her online presence, marked by strong political opinions and sharp words, made her a lightning rod for drama.
It's really really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024.
If the leaked audio is real, some believe it shows the same fire she used online, now aimed at her coworkers. Rumors swirled that she refused to compromise, that she treated the fairy tale like her personal soapbox, that anyone who disagreed got snapped at.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those things.
So true,
it's
yeah.
an inner journey that she goes on to find her true self.
And you better believe Bill Maher had thoughts. If Rachel was really out here screaming about fixing Snow White or schooling her coworkers on what an enlightened script should look like, he wasn't going to let that slide. The irony was just too good.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
Twitter, Reddit, YouTube all lit up. People were done. The drama shifted from a bad remake to something darker. If Rachel was preaching kindness in interviews and allegedly tearing into staff behind the scenes, that's the definition of hypocrisy.
Not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
And get this, word on the street is Rachel and her co-star barely spoke unless the cameras were rolling. Tension like that on a $200 million 0 cents production? Yikes.
And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
If the leading ladies allegedly lashing out at staff, if co-stars are cold to each other, and if even the critics are confused by the story, then baby, it's more than a mess. It's a meltdown.
People are, she said death threats. I don't know which dwarf gave you a death threat, but she's saying she's getting death threats.
Fans were fuming. How could a movie pushing for inclusivity and empowerment be led by someone accused of screaming at her team? The leaked audio made folks question everything Rachel said about kindness, respect, and being a modern woman. The timing couldn't have been worse. The film was tanking at the box office. Families weren't showing up. Parents didn't want to expose their kids to a cynical, unrecognizable version of Snow White. And Gen Z, they were too busy dragging it on TikTok.
Obviously, she's very attractive, very cute, but her views, her eliteness, her like, I know what's right and you don't, and now you want to apologize, bro. This is how the world works when you get on social media.
Now, Disney was in damage control mode. Studio execs scrambled to discredit the clip, but the internet had already made up its mind. Even if the tape was fake, it fit the narrative too well. The idea that Rachel had lost it, people were more than ready to believe it. Bill Maher, he leaned all the way in. One of his most viral skits involved him mocking Rachel with a dramatic reenactment, pretending to scream at staff for daring to include anything from 1937. Fans couldn't stop watching.
If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what?
Smart.
Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're gonna bring another person to play this role.
And let's not forget the music changes. Gone were iconic songs like Someday My Prince Will Come. In their place, modern anthems that felt completely out of place. Rumors swirled that the audio meltdown was actually about this exact issue, Rachel flipping out over the music direction. In the aftermath, Rachel tried to clean things up. She posted polished statements about respecting coworkers, evolving stories, and loving equality. But notably, she never actually denied the audio was real. The public noticed. Her sweet online tone didn't match the fire people imagined in that clip. It was giving damage control.
There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now.
And by then, it was too late. Whether real or fake, the audio clip broke the spell completely. It didn't matter that Rachel later claimed her past interviews were taken out of context. People had already made up their minds. This wasn't about one actress having a bad day. It was about a film backed by one of the most powerful studios on earth that lost sight of its audience, its identity, and its story. Suddenly, people were asking real questions. Who let this happen? Who approved this mess? And how did something meant to empower and inspire turn into a symbol of chaos? Critics didn't hold back either. Many said the film was torn between two identities, woke masterpiece or nostalgic fairy tale. And in trying to be both, it became neither. The dwarfs, confusing. The love story, gone. The music, jarring. The script, preachy. And Rachel, caught in the middle of it all. Some even claimed the meltdown may have been staged for publicity. But if that was the plan, it backfired big time. Box office numbers stayed low. Reviews were brutal, and no amount of glossy interviews or discounted tickets could change that. Then came the finger pointing. Was it Rachel's fault? Was it Disney's execs? Was it the writers? Or did the whole thing collapse under the weight of trying too hard to be modern? Bill Maher blamed everyone, from the actress trashing the original to the studio treating fans like they didn't matter. He tore into every misstep with comedic precision. He even joked about how the dwarves were erased and then slapped back in last minute like, oops, our bad. If the meltdown was real, maybe it happened during those frantic script rewrites. Maybe Rachel was done being the face of a flop. Maybe she cracked. Crew insiders later revealed that morale was rock bottom. Too many changes, no clear direction, and Rachel's alleged blow-up, just one of many fiery moments. When she finally did interviews post-release, her tone softened. She tried to praise the original, tried to make nice, but the internet wasn't buying it. Not after everything. The damage was done. People weren't just mad about a bad remake, they felt betrayed, and once fans feel that, it's game over. The leaked audio, real or fake, became the nail in the coffin, a symbol of how not to handle a beloved classic, a cautionary tale for studios everywhere. And Bill Maher's final roast? It said it all. You tried to remake Snow White and ended up with the fairest meltdown of them all. Ooh, let that sink in. Ooh.